guys, welcome back to day 2 of this Supra chaos. Today we are focusing on decontaminating the paint a step above what we did yesterday. So we're going to do some physical agitation. Yesterday we did chemical agitation. Today we're going to be clay barring the whole vehicle in hopes of trying to release some of this water spotting before cutting, because if we don't do that, basically we're going to build up our pads full of junk and it's going to take way longer. So we have to clay bar this thing right now to avoid headaches in the future. As you can tell on some of the parts here, there's heavy water spotting, including the glass, which is an absolute pain for us because buffing glass is not fun. The paint has a lot of damage, specifically on the top areas. Obviously, when it rains down, the top's affected more than the sides. Sides are so bad, tops are terrible. That carbon kind of hurts my soul watching it be in that condition, but we can fix it here and we will fix it here. Same thing on this rear carbon wing. You can tell kind of, it's like, if you ever seen Metamorphosis rock, same thing's going on here. As the water dried over time, the layers towards the center are worse than the layers up top. You can definitely tell how it's been caked up and layered. So that also kind of hurts the soul a little bit. But nothing we can't fix here. Same thing with the plates for the wing. We're just trying to restore this thing. I don't know if it happened during shipping. I'm gonna assume it did, but this is just iron buildup from dirty water, unfiltered water. That's why we use filters here when we wash stuff. We wanna prevent this as much as we can. We'll never get anything on this level though. This is often seen even on sprinkler stuff. So try to avoid dirty, contaminated water from getting on your paint, especially drying on your paint, because then you'll have to come visit us at Denver's Ace Auto Spot, 303-946-4526. What's up guys? It is another day here at Denver's Auto Spa. We are coming up on one of the final days working on the Supra. Today will be the most drastic change to it. We're going to be getting rid of all the water spotting on the paint and the glass, plastic, trims, carbon, pretty much everything that has water spots, which is everything. So we're going to start right here on the front end. As you guys can see, we've masked all of the moldings off and we did a 50-50 down the middle just so we can get a comparative of the before and after to make it easier for you guys to tell. We are going to try to salvage this banner. That is one of the things on my mind today. How are we going to salvage this thing? It is a matte finish, so if we do polish it, it'll be a little bit glossy, which I mean I'd prefer over replacing it entirely because it's the original one. And then on the headlights as well, we're going to be removing that old tint and then seeing what it looks like without it. And if the owner decides he likes the tinted version more, we're going to retint them. But let's start with the paint. what I'm doing here is called framing. So you do your edges first and then you fill it in. Same thing with ceramic coating. That's what we do all the time. It kind of helps us from preventing bumping into these edges with our bigger machines, which will cut a lot more. It's a lot safer. We don't want to risk having to burn something and repaint it, which would not be good. Obviously on these like edges, it's like built up a lot more and you can definitely feel it. And I don't think they wet sanded these edges. So they're a little rough, so I'm gonna hit it with a heavier pad, try to smoothen it out. But I mean, aside from that, no more water spots, which is mostly our end goal. We just can't see past the water spots, so we know what condition this paint is in. So finally seeing how the paint is, and it's actually pretty good. Which we keep in stock all the time. If you guys want to sponsor us, let me know. But yeah, these pads are great. Super thin hairs, they don't get all clunked up, easy to clean. Like I said, more aggressive. Yeah, sometimes a more aggressive cut seems like it's like the opposite of what you want to do, but whatever it takes to keep heat off of old paint, it's what I'd prefer to do. That, and it takes less passes, so it'll be easier to see the progress it's making. So we'll do that, and then I'll prime the pad, some detail spray, like right here. I think the hardest area is like right there. Because I mean, these cut with a blue pad and like 2 passes. I hit this with like 6 passes in a blue pad and it wasn't going anywhere. So I'm gonna have to switch up to this. So now that it's all cut, we're gonna polish this area. No more spots, no more deep scratches. The polish we're going to use is the Sonax Perfect Finish and then a Rupes yellow pad. That combo is going to help us finish out the swirls left behind, which weren't many, surprisingly, by the wool pad. So whatever clear coat they use, it's really high quality. It's super scratch resistant, and I mean, it finishes out like butter, so good paint job. Yeah, this might actually be the best Japanese paint I've seen come through here, for sure. Again, Rupes DA finish. Sponsor us. I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna all be wool pad, and there's like a brownish hue to it because of the deposit from the water spotting. So I mean, this isn't even anywhere near to the color the hood has now. So yeah, this thing is gonna look amazing. So I'm gonna do a hand polish on these edges because I can't get a machine up against this, and I can't come down far enough without hitting this grill piece. So I'm gonna just get a really clean rag and some hand polish and let me just polish these corners out by hand. I don't know if it's a manufacturer error or there's not enough resin on here or if it just happened over time, but there's a lot of pitting in between the weave on this carbon. Basically, if we were to have the different weaves like this, on every corner there's a small indentation where the resin level is below the actual weave level of the carbon. It shows up on here as like little white specks. It's over here as well on the before. We don't want to get it to that level because that level is below the weave. So there's not much we can do. With the coating that we're going to put on this wing, it'll help it look more smooth and even, and it'll change the color of that bright white color in the pitting to like a light gray. So it'll be way more hidden. So this carbon actually looks really great for the age. It looks better than my carbon hood. If you don't know my carbon hood, I got it, you know, vandalized. So this looks better than my carbon hood. So far, fender, half the hood is done. Half the wing is done just for testing purposes on the wing. We're gonna be removing those painted marker things they put on when you import a vehicle. So we'll take that off first. We'll try to preserve the stickers as best as we can, as well as the banner. And we'll get into that. We'll remove the masking tape so we can see a true 50-50 of the whole vehicle. And then after that, we'll pretty much do the rest of the vehicle, coat it, and it'll be ready to go. All right, so all that brown stuff right there is literally all the deposits left over. After we iron remove this, after we clay bar this, it still has this much coming off of it. So I mean, these are, as you can tell, these are not the best pads. We're not gonna crack open a new one and because we're gonna throw these away right after. But that's kind of going to show how long this car's been sitting with all these elements on top of it. If it's still pulling this after we did all that friction on it already and chemical abrasion, it's staying with us sitting for a while. So it's here now. It looks phenomenal. It's getting there. So we'll keep using this on the dirty parts, then follow it back up. The benefit of using a wool pad, sometimes this stuff like this, it picks up and collects a lot more, which also makes it a pain to use because it'll get all these deposits left in there. Even from just a compound, it'll cut less and less every time. So you're gonna see me taking this off, cleaning it, switching it out with our other one, and then just doing that over and over and over again. So it's what it takes, it's what we'll do. So.